Hey there, contestants of Who Reviews the Reviewers. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, aka SXE Blues, winner of the second season of this very same contest. Let me first and foremost issue congratulations to any and all of the lucky participants of this season of Who Reviews the Reviewers, and I have to say that my time being involved with this contest was just an absolute blast. But that's not to say it was without its challenges, but really, that's all part of the fun. It's really going to be the name of the game as you enter this contest. Have fun with it. Don't take whatever criticism comes your way personally, but be mindful of it if you really want to hone your craft. I entered this contest myself, ultimately wishing to test my reviewing skills, see if I could be critical but entertaining, objective but following my own interests. The judges are there to tell you things that will shape your reviews for the better if you adopt and adapt their suggestions as you go. But at the end of the day, be true to your own voice. Feel free to work within your comfort zone, but don't be afraid to set goals and take risks every step of the way. And with that, I wish you all the best of luck, and I really look forward to seeing what you all have in store for us. So otherwise, have fun, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.
Greetings and welcome to Season 4 of Who Reviews the Reviewers. I'm Captain Logan, your host and one of the 5 contest judges. I am absolutely stoked about the season. I can't wait for you folks to see what we have in store for you. As you can tell already, the format is quite a bit different for this show. We're going to see a lot more from the actual contestants this season, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know them. I'm looking forward to you folks getting to know them. And before we go any further and introduce you to this year's contestants, I'd like to introduce our judges panel. Now, the judges are not, as you can tell, here with me today, but they will be here for round 1. And let me go ahead and go down the new judges list in case you haven't heard about it already. Of course, I will be one of the judges, but also returning judge, the real Manos, who's been with us since the very beginning. He is a veteran reviewer and one of the very first judges from the contest, and he's been a contributing Geekvolution member for a very, very long time. Also coming back for his 3rd year is Mr. Fusion, who was the winner of the contest in the 1st year and has continued to put out fabulous content. We've got 2 new judges this year, replacing a couple of judges that unfortunately couldn't be with us this year. We've got Aaron Dicer, who is now a television reviewer, and he was the winner of last year's contest of Season 3's Who Reviews the Reviewers, and also one of the runner-ups from last year, Superhero Enthusiast, who has continued to do quite a bit for us here on the channel, and we really appreciate him. He's helped us review quite a bit of stuff, but he also has done a lot of logos and things like that for us, a lot of graphic design, and he is responsible for our great logos for Who Reviews the Reviewers this year. We sure appreciate him, and I'm sure he's going to make an absolutely fantastic judge. We have 12 contestants this year instead of our normal 8, giving 4 other contestants, 4 other YouTube novice reviewers, a chance at the $500 grand prize. We've got an eclectic assortment of reviewers this year, lots of really interesting people. We've got people from all over the world this year. We always have at least 1 or 2 people from overseas, but it seems like we've got an even bigger and more diverse cast this year. We've got people who review on screen, we've got people who review off screen, we've got people who are into movies, we've got people who are more into reviewing physical objects, and everything in between. Lots of different interesting reviewers. We even this year have a duo. We have a pair of reviewers that got into the contest as one entity, and I didn't say no because there wasn't a rule against it. So that'll be very interesting. And speaking of pairs, I think we've been dealt a great opening hand this year, evidenced by the fact that we begin with a pair of Jacks.
Hello, my name is Jack and my YouTube channel is called Jack Does Things and Stuff, which is a bit of a long-winded name, but what you gonna do? Other than reviews and stuff, I just do sort of, I don't know, vlogs about things where I sometimes rant, sometimes talk about really deep emotional stuff. I like playing guitar, I go rock climbing sometimes, I like gaming, a lot of gaming, and I read comics a lot. I'm 15, I'm at school at the moment, and I have really important exams coming up, which is slightly nerve-wracking. The main reason I decided to audition for this is, like I said earlier, I was interested in reviewing stuff, but I never really got around to doing it, and I thought if it goes well, it's, you know, got me into the actual competition, so it's gone quite well, I might do some more, so here it. Hi, I'm Jack, and this is my review for The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. I got the game for Christmas, and I just couldn't stop playing it throughout the holidays. I am a fan of the series, but something I loved in particular is it was a lot different from the more recent games. You can really see where they went back to the roots of the series and took inspirations from the first few games, like the original Legend of Zelda and Link to the Past, as well as having the really unique mechanic of being able to merge into walls. Another thing I loved is the fact that it's a lot less linear than the more recent games, whereas in some of the other games you're just told you need to complete this temple because this, that and the other, and then you move on to the next one. You can do the temples in any order you like. This does, however, mean that once you get to the point where you have to complete all 8 dungeons, the story doesn't progress until you complete them. There are vague bits of story here and there, but it doesn't really progress in a meaningful way until you complete all of the dungeons. While some of the bosses are very cleverly designed, some of them are just, you hit them with your sword a few times, dodge an attack here or there, and then that's it. Which, when you're at the end of a dungeon, it's not really an epic finale. Something that really made it stand out from a lot of the more recent Zelda games is that the items that you get aren't just used once, whereas in some other games you get the item in the dungeon, you use it just for that dungeon and that's it. Here you can use them all over the world, you can pick them up whenever you want, you don't have to find them in a dungeon. While there are some dungeons where you need certain items, they can be used universally, they're a lot more flexible. Overall though, I think it's an amazing game, really. It's one of the best games I've ever played on the 3DS, and even if you're not a fan of the series, you should definitely pick it up. For me, something I always think that reviews are lacking in general, what sort of audience would like whatever it is. For example, there are some really dreadful kids films out there, yet, you know, kids like them. For example, as much as I'm ashamed to say this, when I was about 7, I really liked Spider-Man 3, and of course everyone knows that is a dreadful film, but for my 7-year-old mind, I like that, so I think some reviews don't take into account the target audience of whatever it is. I don't like to overestimate my abilities, but I hope as long as I can keep my videos original and not get too repetitive and have a clear plan of what I'm gonna say, I hope I will, you know, get quite far in the process. I'm not really sure what I want to do with the prize money, because it's not like it's £1 million and I can, you know, buy 10 houses with it. I think what I really want to do is give some to my parents, because, you know, they've paid for me to live for 15.5 years, so yeah, I might give some to them, and I might give some to charity, and I might, you know, keep 100 or so for myself. Right now, I don't really have an idea of what I'm gonna do if I do win and have the mini-series type thing. I think I'll need to cross that bridge when I come to it. Thank you for watching this video and stuff, and yeah, and you can see more of my weird flailing nervousness on my channel, so yes. Thank you for watching. Bye.
So my channel is Jack's channel of stuff, but I just prefer to be referred to as Jack, so yeah, hi. Besides video reviewing, I go to college, I do level 3 media production, so I get to make things like short films, documentaries, adverts, or commercials as you call them in America, and yeah, I have to go through the pre-production process and all the shooting, planning and editing and evaluating and things like that, and I find it really fun. I auditioned for Who Reviews the Reviewers because I love films and I really want to get my thoughts to a wider audience, so I just love to do it and get more recognised, and so more people can come and watch my content, and it's all about the interaction with the fans as well. I like talking to people about films. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Peter Parker is having trouble with Gwen Stacy, but at the same time he's got to take on villains like Electro, Green Goblin and not even Rhino. And so going into the film I was a bit, is it going to be that good? And I think it's an averagely good film. I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible in my personal thoughts. First off, the acting is top notch in this film. Andrew Garfield is perfect as Peter Parker / Spider-Man. Emma Stone, awesome as Gwen Stacy. I mean, she's just really cute in this film, isn't she? Jamie Foxx was good as Electro, not really as Max Dillon. He's a bit cheesy as Max Dillon. Like, he's looking in the mirror with his like buck teeth like, oh my god, it's my birthday. You remember my birthday, Spider-Man, thank you. But when he becomes Electro, he looks badass. I love how he looks. He just looks all see-through and electrified, and he's shooting lightning out of his fingers like the Emperor or something like that. He was awesome. Dan DeHaan was good as Harry Osborn. It's just that's the thing, that's where all my criticisms all come in. Everything in this film just feels like kind of rushed, but also mixed in together and jumbled up and just they're thrown on the screen, and it just like doesn't really have a good narrative structure. Although the action scenes are really good too, or when the action scenes that do happen. And by the action scenes I mean the ones that you all saw in the trailer, and by all saw I mean you saw pretty much 95% of the actual action scene itself. You saw each one in the trailer. And so in the end, I like the acting, I like the action, I like the special effects. They're awesome, the special effects, but the narrative has too much plot points in it. There's too much stuff going on, and you just kind of like, the film lacks a lot of focus. And I'm just watching it going, okay, I've seen all this in the trailers. So have you seen The Amazing Spider-Man 2? What did you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, put them down there. And if you like this video and you want to see more, click here to do the subscribe thing. The most essential element to a good review, I'd probably say, is list the good and bad, but in a way as why they are actually good and bad in terms of that actual thing. So why does the bad thing, how does it actually affect certain things? So how does, say, bad acting affect a film, or why does good directing affect the TV show, etc, etc. So list the good and bad and list why exactly they are good and bad. I think I have a shot at winning Who Reviews the Reviewers this year, because I think I'd like to think my idea of reviewing is more honest. And I don't like to butter things up. I like to just go, yeah, this film is bad for this reason, or this film is good for this reason. And I just like to think that I'm more honest and more open about that kind of stuff. I'm not really like a fanboy, so I don't just like love films just because it's that particular franchise. With the prize money, I would definitely put it towards more equipment for my channel, because right now I'm using a webcam, and obviously I know people these days demand better quality, so I'd probably get a new camera, like an actual proper camera, and record my videos. So it'd definitely be for more equipment or new equipment, so probably a camera and microphone stuff as well, so better audio quality. In terms of my idea for a Geekvolution miniseries, if I won the contest, I'd probably think something along the lines of childhood classic films that I like, or films that are nostalgic for me, and I'd like to talk about watching them when I was a kid, and why every time I watch it now it just like that thing triggers inside me, where I'm like, oh my god, it all comes back to me now. So maybe something like a retrospective look at the things in my childhood, like films, TV shows and games and things like that. So I think that's probably the best idea I have for a mini series for Geekvolution if I do win the contest, which I hope I really do.
Greetings, I am MrGoodPlot. Although in another dimension I am referred to as Stephen Bratcher, but we don't talk about him. Although for what I do besides reviewing, well, the Ultimate Dimension version of myself is an intern for some journalism company where he makes videos, and he also makes a bunch of YouTube videos about supervillains such as myself, except these supervillains are cartoons and they talk about movies and TV shows and stuff, and they're also trademarked by other people, but he uses them anyway. Me, on the other hand, I am an aspiring, real supervillain. So why did I audition for this show? Okay, I'm gonna be really honest with you right now. I'm being forced to against my will by another supervillain. This one much more dark, malevolent, soulless than me. Okay, this guy is crazy. He keeps telling me that if I don't win this competition, I am going to die. Oh god, it's a miracle that I even got in. Thank you for accepting me, because if you didn't, I would have been killed on the spot by him. Oh god, oh, save me from him. but it's also to meet new people and have a new experience. You know. Hello, I am MrGoodPlot, and we are living in an era riddled with adaptation. But what is that one story that is so pure and simple that it can be adapted into a whole multitude of different ways? The Wizard of Oz. Notice how most of them rely on the 1939 movie more than they do the books. So in 2007, a bunch of production studios I've never heard of decided to make their own in the format of a 3-episode mini-series on the Sci-Fi Channel. That means that the story was reimagined as a complete sci-fi. No, not exactly. It's more like a sci-fi story that happens to have parallels to Wizard of Oz. Good stuff. If you are very familiar with the Wizard of Oz story, this show still keeps you guessing as you watch it, because it keeps subverting your expectations. The first episode of the show pretty much ends where the original Oz story ended. That means that the next 2 episodes have new material you have not seen before. There are also ideas brought into the mix that feel new to Wizard of Oz. Bad stuff. Well, I feel like the whole show is trying to establish it as something different from Wizard of Oz, and yet there's this twist near the end that kind of diminishes that. And it's also a shame that such a unique take to this story is restrained to TV, while other takes that try to emulate the classic '39 film get the big screen treatment. This film earns an 85%. So there you have it. If you have 4.5 hours, then sure, why not? That's a wrap! So what is the most essential part of a review? Well, I consulted with my alternate dimension self, and he believes that the most essential part is the personality giving the review. Like, a lot of the time, you see things on the internet, and you're like, I don't really want to see a review on that. But what hooks you in a lot of the time is the reviewer giving it, the personality. Like, oh, rap. I don't care about rap. Ooh, rap critic. I like that guy. Click. So why do I believe that I have a shot at winning this review? Well, other than the fact that my life is literally depending on it, it's also the fact that I believe that I use a very unorthodox method at going at this. Now, what would I do with the prize money? Well, of course, to fund my evil deeds, but apparently my alternate dimension self wants to use it to improve his videos. Like, he keeps saying, oh, MrGoodPlot, oh, look at this is all wonky. And I'm like, hey, this tripod is okay, well, why do you need a new one? Oh, it's because it's broken. Oh, you can't tell, but it actually is. How did this get to my dimension anyway? Well, me and my alternate dimension self agree that if we got to do a mini-series on Geekvolution, we would focus it on the current superhero television show that I believe Geekvolution has been giving the cold shoulder currently. I'm talking about The Awesomes, an animated sitcom which I personally believe is the best superhero animated show on currently. Well, besides Ninja Turtles. Well, now that you've gotten to know me and my alternate self, why don't you get to know my henchmen? Well, I am. Too late. Interview over.
I'm so happy for you, MrGoodPlot.
Hello there everybody, it's Mr. Cool 210 here, and I've actually made it onto this show, Who Reviews the Reviewers. I never thought that happened. I really didn't. I put the entry in and I just thought it'd be a quick thanks but no thanks level of thinking, I guess, when it came to the judges, but I am super happy to be a part of it. Thank you to Captain Logan and thank you to the other the judges who helped pick me and put me on this show today. My name is Ben. last name probably isn't important in this case, just when I'm on the show here, I'm going to be addressed as such, just Ben, and that's it, because I prefer it that way. Mr. Cool 210 is a good sign-on name, and that's what I'll be calling myself in my videos, but aside from that, it's just Ben from here on, and I'll always be wearing this jacket whenever the chance I get. Aside from reviewing, I don't have a job of any kind. I've been searching for it, actually, a lot. I do have, like I'd say, a good chunk of hobbies, mostly watching movies for reviews or otherwise, playing games, reading comics, doing all that sort of general stuff, like, stuff that younger people will do, and I'm glad, I'm happy that has allowed me to be a part of this whole thing. I auditioned for Who Reviews the Reviewers because, quite honestly, I've always liked Captain Logan's stuff on Geekvolution, Superhero Rewind, Comic Vault, Spawn Here, all that stuff. And I figured it'd just be kind of cool just to get to know him. And also, just be, I've been trying reviewing for a couple of years, I might as well need to hone my skills, get a little bit better at it, get better at analyzing and all that sort of stuff.
Hey there guys, it's Mr. Cool 210 here, giving you a quick review of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 1 box set. Yu-Gi-Oh! The official first season was released by Syndicim on September 10th, 2013. It contains the first 49 episodes of the original series. What you get here is 2 DVD volumes put together into a box that, when combined with the other set, creates a nice image of the character from the TV show. Box set does look nice, with nice easy menus to navigate, and nothing that happens that's too distracting from getting you to the episodes you want to watch. Although you don't get much in terms of special features, really you don't get anything at all in regards to special features, you do still get 49 episodes that are each 20 minutes long, which averages to about 16.5 hours of content with good quality video and audio. All in 4:3, although this is not HD due to this being the original copies of the episodes from back when they aired in 2001. Nothing has been changed from the original airing, including the original mistakes that were made back when 4Kids was trying to get their footing down with how to dub the show, so no upgrades from its original release. As this is the original series in its entirety, if you aren't already a fan of the show, this isn't going to change your mind. Although I can praise the actual quality of the footage and the menus, the packaging won't get the same treatment. It feels very cheap, and the DVD cases break insanely easily. Be careful if you do buy it. You can get this on Amazon for about $50. If you can get the DVD cheap like I did, I would recommend it. I got mine for about $30 on eBay. There's definitely enough content here to warrant a purchase, even at full price. Yu-Gi-Oh! The official first season gets an 8 out of 10. It would be higher if only the quality were higher, maybe having a widescreen, and if we got some special features, such as behind the scenes. But if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan, this is a must-buy.
The essential element for a good review, I always think, is trying your best to make a product, to let people know your opinion of it, but try your best to sound like you're not biased about it. I mean, I know in my usual reviews on this channel, I tend to be really angry and over the top, but that's just because that's more for comedy than actual reviewing style. The best quality I look for in a review is if they can tell me about the product and, put in things here and there that would convince me whether or not I'd like to buy it. I think I have a shot at winning just mainly because, well, honestly, because I don't have a lot of other things to do. I really want to try my best to improve my skills and make good quality content, regardless of whether or not I win. And, I see this as kind of a fun experience, and if I win, then that's fantastic for me, and I'm gonna try my best to do that. The prize money, I'd probably end up, well, obviously, as you can see from the quality of my camera, I get a new one. My camera's not exactly the greatest quality, even though it does technically film in HD. I'd get a new camera to help me with the reviews, and tripod probably, and the rest of it would probably go to student loans, whatever I could afford to, leave there. And if it doesn't go there, then it's going to go to, fueling me for getting movies and maybe a little bit more better equipment like lights and stuff like that. Currently, I've actually been thinking of what the miniseries would be, and I guess I've just decided not to think that far ahead in case, more so think that maybe if I get to the top 3 or 2, maybe. Like, for now, I really want to focus more on getting my videos made as opposed to thinking, what do I do if I actually win? Just, for me personally, I think that'd be a little bit better. I'll say this, congratulations to all the other contestants who've made it onto the show. Once again, thank you to everybody. Thank you to Geekvolution as a whole. Thank you to Captain Logan specifically, and thank you to all the judges. I can't wait to be a part of this experience, and I can't wait to get my skills working and be a better reviewer as a result.
So I go by J. Willie Rasco, or just J. Willie, or just Rasco. Either one is completely okay with me, so yeah. Question number 2, what do you do besides video reviewing? I'm a high school student. At my school we have majors, so I'm a visual arts major at my high school. I'm a junior. I do a lot of painting, a lot of drawing, a lot of sculpting, stuff like that. And when I'm outside of school, generally just movies, comic books, superhero, sci-fi, all that kind of stuff is generally just a giant portion of my life, pretty much. Well, I auditioned because reviewing things for people on the internet has always been something that I've wanted to do for a long time. I remember I started watching video reviews of stuff in 3rd grade, and sharing my opinions and what I think of certain things for a audience on the internet has always been something that just really has sounded like a lot of fun to me. Sharing my opinion on stuff that I'm passionate about with people who are also passionate about the same stuff. What is going on, everyone? This is Rasco from Squatch Gang, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the Justice League Unlimited episode, The Greatest Story Never Told. So let's do it. This episode focuses on the character of Booster Gold, a man from the future who went back in time to our present day because he wants to be a rich and famous superhero. He openly admits this multiple times in the episode, and this seems to be the reason why nobody takes him very seriously. This episode is all about Booster Gold finally getting his chance to save the day. He goes through a really great character arc as he learns that saving the world should be taken much more seriously, and that he shouldn't be focused on the fame and fortune that come with being a superhero. In the end, Booster Gold actually does get the chance to save the day, but the catch is that there's nobody there to see him do it besides 2 people. He learns that doing the heroic thing is important, regardless of how many people are actually there to see you do it. Booster Gold first has to accept that he isn't really a true hero before he's actually able to save the day, and I really like that. This episode also has a lot of great humor in it. One recurring joke is that people keep mistaking Booster Gold for Green Lantern, and he grows more annoyed by it every time. I don't know why they mistake him for Green Lantern. I mean, he's not wearing green, but regardless, it's still really funny. Booster Gold also has a little robot companion named Skeets, who I find completely hilarious because no matter what, he always praises and has complete confidence in Booster Gold. It seems as if he's been programmed to always kiss up to Booster, but he can also be very sarcastic and condescending. The only thing that I don't necessarily like about this episode is the love interest, Dr. Simmons. She seems to really only be in the story for an easy way to inform Booster Gold that there's a black hole threatening to destroy the world, and also so that our hero can get the girl in the end. They seem to only really like each other based on physical attraction, but it's a 22-minute long episode of an animated series, so I'm going to cut it some slack. Overall, I really like this episode. It's one of my favorites from the whole series, and I definitely think it's worth your time. I give this episode 5 out of 6 squatches. What do you think is the most essential element to making a good review? For this, I'd have to say probably knowing as much about whatever it is that you're reviewing as possible when you review it. So, if you're reviewing a movie or a book or anything, know as much as you possibly can about it before you review it. I think that helps make a really great informational review. I think I have a shot at winning because I think I'm fairly competent at, really being able to articulate my opinions about certain things and what I think of certain things. And I think that I can really give really great informational, entertaining reviews about certain things for people to watch. I think that that's something that I am capable of doing. Right now, my desktop computer is kind of about to die on me, so if I were to win, I'd probably use that money to help buy a new computer in the future, probably is what I'd do with it. Do I have any idea in mind for my Geekvolution miniseries were I to win? If I were to win, I'd probably make my miniseries something involving the Alien movie franchise. The Alien movie franchise is my favorite series of movies, personally. I love them. Even the bad ones, you know, they're bad and I can accept that they're bad, and but I still find them entertaining just because I just love the series so much. So, probably something involving that, I'd have to say. Probably.
I'm Kai Coldro. My YouTube channel is Kai's Reviews. Besides for video reviewing, I make other videos. You know, like filmmaking is my big passion. I love movies, I love cinema, TV shows, you name it. I write scripts, short films, I film them with, you know, my friends or colleagues or anyone willing to help out. I shoot them myself, I'm just the director and writer, and occasionally I might act in a smaller role. I did it because, you know, I hear that it gets your channel a lot of exposure, and, you know, it helps you, you know, hone, you know, your format and reviewing style. And, I just thought that would be good for, you know, for what I'm trying to do, and, I just want to be a part of something like this, you know, and collaborate with other channels. And Geek Evolution is one of my very, very favorite YouTube channels that I've been following for a few years now, and I just really like, you know, I really like all you guys. You guys are great, and I'm really honored to be here doing this contest.
Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to be breaking the first two rules of a secret group, if you will, and reviewing the 10th anniversary Blu-ray edition of Fight Club, one of my very favorite movies. When I first popped the disc into my player, I almost had a heart attack because the menu for Never Been Kissed, a movie that I have seen and personally don't care for, came up. The screen started to freeze up, gain some static, and blew up into flames, and then the real menu for Fight Club appeared. It was that exact moment when I realized that this was the true ultimate edition of Fight Club, and to this day, this is one of my favorite films to own on Blu-ray. The menu consists of the play options over a ceramic loop of the narrator's condo with the price listings for all the expensive household items he has. They look like something out of a magazine that would sell this stuff, which I thought was rather neat. As the loop goes on, it fades into Tyler's dilapidated house, and the anti-corporate society tone is addressed completely before you even start up the movie. It's ingenious. Fight Club itself has never looked better. It's very high definition, crisp, and clean on this format. When I first watched this version, I noticed a lot of stuff that is important to the overall narrative and storyline that I'd completely missed during previous viewings, like all the copies of copies of copies that the narrator says he sees appearing casually on screen whenever he has insomnia, the pornographic frame that appears as the film ends, and I don't mean to sound morbid, but the scenes containing a large loss of blood shine with that David Fincher style. Trust me, it's a tough act to follow. I tried it a few years ago. There are a lot of fascinating bonus features, including a documentary about the making of Fight Club, and several interviews with David Fincher and company. My only problem with this Blu-ray, and while I understand that the DVD version had already existed 10 years prior, I think there should have been a DVD combo on the other side of the disc, because 5 to 6 years ago, a lot less people owned a Blu-ray player. I even remember bringing this over to a friend's house a few years ago, and at the time he didn't own a Blu-ray player. As a conclusion, I'd say that this edition of Fight Club is really great. I recommend that if you're really into movies, or you've never seen it, or you did but it was a long time ago, check it out. It's a great Blu-ray containing a great movie.
I'd say just have fun with it, you know, just kind of, like, express your opinion in the most respectable, mature, you know, style. Don't, like, be, like, swearing and cursing up a storm, like, every other sentence, you know, in every video you make, you know. Just, you know, have fun, you know, make it accessible to people who haven't even seen the movie or watched the show or played the video game that you're reviewing. And, you know, just make it fun, you know, entertaining. Be yourself, kind of, you know, just, you know, see yourself as an entertainer, kind of. I didn't really join because I wanted to win. I wanted to join because I wanted, you know, as I said previously, to, you know, to grow my audience, to collaborate with Geek Evolution and other channels, and, you know, be a part of this, you know, reality series they're doing, you know. I'm not really sure I have that much of a shot at winning. I mean, I might. I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna say never. I'm not gonna win, but I'm just saying, you know, if I don't win, I'm not gonna be, like, horrified, you know. I'm not gonna be, like, disappointed, you know, because that's not real. Because, you know, I've been thinking about joining this contest for, like, a few months now, because I've heard that it's been coming back throughout the course of this past year, and for most of the time, I haven't even been thinking about, you know, the cash prize. I don't really know. I think that I'd buy some superior equipment, you know, for making my videos higher quality. I'd buy more, you know, DVDs and Blu-rays, you know, that people wanted me to review it, and I'd watch them, and I'd get, you know, the special features off the DVD, and that kind of thing. I'm not sure I have any idea for a mini-series. I think that all, like, the good ones, I'm not saying that, you know, I'm pretty sure that a lot of you, like, answering the same question being interviewed have, you know, great ideas, but I can't think of one right now because, like, all the good ones off the top of my head, I think they're either doing or they've tried and they've done it. Not really. I mean, if I was to win, I just want to, like, collaborate, maybe, like, record a few, like, movie commentaries with them, you know, that kind of thing. Because, you know, I'd always want to commentate on a movie with Captain Logan, because, you know, he's a really nice, really intelligent guy, you know, and that'd be a lot of fun. And that's just about it. Thanks for watching, and I hope the Who Reviews the Reviewers contest goes well for everyone.
Hey, my name is Connor Nielsen, and before I get into the questions, I just want to say thank you very much for giving me the chance to be on this show. I really appreciate it, and I feel very blessed to do this. I am a full-time student at Clackamas Community College, and I am finishing up my business transfer degree so I can go to a university and get a major in film and a minor in business. And I am going as well, and along with that, I am planning a 5K walk and run for Autism Research and Resources of Oregon, and I have a part-time job at a movie theater, working 20 to 30 hours there, and I watch a lot of movies, and I read a lot of comic books, and I'm always busy all the time. I have been reviewing on and off for about 5 years now. My first review was in 2010 for Toy Story 3, and I've been doing this on and off for about 5 years, and I figured I've done it and I've watched a lot, and I think I can offer something unique. I think I know what I have to say, I know how I want to say things, and you know what, it's kind of one of those now or never things. It's why wait next year, you know, just go for it. And I really like Geek Evolution. I think it's a great venue. Hey, Connor here with another review. Today I'm going to be talking about this. Not Animal Man, the dust jacket. Dust jackets, also known as book jackets or dust covers, are a staple in the realm of hardcover books, be they novels, children's books, comics, or any other form of literature. When books were sold as pages without binding, owners would keep these pages together in jackets they made from many different materials, such as leather and wallpaper. The first dust jacket emerged in 1829, and jackets in these days covered the entire book and were discarded after the book was opened like gift wrap. Today, we know them as the thin cardstock wrapped around first edition of new releases. So how do I feel about these fixtures of literature? To be honest, I don't really like them. I think they look good on a bookshelf, and I like to use the folded tabs to substitute for a bookmark, but typically that's all I get out of these. There are exceptions, of course, like the Death of the Family hardcover from DC, but most of the time I find the reading experience would be better without them. Dust jackets are obsolete and I don't find them very functional. I take the jacket off before I read every time. What's bad is the looming alarm in my head to know where it is at all times, keeping me from being sucked into the narrative. What's worse is losing the thing, hoping it doesn't get damaged by an oblivious animal, and worst of all is when you forget where you set it down and you end up ripping or creasing the thing. They're also very slippery, and I cannot tell you how many times I've dropped the book inside because I wasn't holding the jacket tight enough. One more thing. I find it very redundant that most books will have a synopsis on the back cover and a different synopsis, often called a blurb, on the inner fold. What's the point? When I have a choice, I choose standard hardcover. Heck, even paperback. What makes a good review good is having something to say. Bring something new to the table. There's no reason to review Watchmen. There's no reason to review any of the Star Wars movies because, I mean, frankly, everything that could possibly be said about those kinds of stories has already been said. There's no point. You're not saying anything. So, yeah, the most important thing is to have something to say. I think I have a shot because I offer something a bit unique. I have a style that I think could be greatly appreciated, and I think that what I have to say could really surprise some people. $500, I'm going to bribe Jeff Probst so I can get onto Survivor and then hopefully win that reality show as well. No, in all seriousness, what I want to do with the prize money is to really improve my production. I am filming on my phone right now, and I think if I can get a better camera, I can get a microphone so I can be better at recording my voice, and I want to get better technology so I can like scan comics or like, you know, manage to get footage from films and TV shows, and you know, I could really improve the quality of my content. I'd also, you know, get some movies so I could, you know, watch them multiple times to really analyze them, and maybe get like some omnibus so I can review some stories like by one writer and really kind of look at some overarching themes. But mostly I do want to improve my quality of content. Because it's going to be a 6-episode mini-series, I want to do 6 days in Sin City. I really like the Sin City graphic novels because I actually don't like Frank Miller, and I think what I have to say about them could be really interesting, which is surprising because there isn't a lot of reviews about the Sin City graphic novels, and considering how important they are to that era and how influential they've been over the years, I think that I could really have something to say, and I really have something fun in mind. It's going to be totally groovy.
Greetings, Geekvolution audience. My name is MageKey600, reinforcing the British stereotype of drinking tea. I hate tea, by the way. On the realms of the real life, I am known as Kieran Jones. What do I do in my spare time? I'm basically a college student. I major in animation, and on the internet, I review animation, specifically Japanese animation, also known as anime, as you can probably tell from the poster back there. That's basically what I do. I've been reviewing anime for about 2 years now, and that's essentially what my hobby does. I read comics, typical geeky stuff, watch other animation, specifically anime though, because I just find them more interesting. That's basically my hobbies. Why did I audition for Who the Reviews Reviewers? Basically as Captain Logan, they call him Geekvolution then. As Captain Logan has stated quite a few times when he has done each season of Who the Reviews Reviewers, it's to hone my skills. I've been doing this for 2 years now, and I'd like to get more professional opinions on how I'm doing things. I've always loved the art or the talent of picking things apart analytically and looking at its themes, its messages, what it's trying to depict to the audience, and to learn more about this and to learn how to do it better, I think is a good experience to have, at least for if you're a reviewer.
So, it is time for my super special, amazing, incredible, spectacular, magnificent 2-minute review of awesomeness.
So today I shall be reviewing the opening to an anime known as Fate Zero. So with the lack of a story, one must ask what is the appeal of an opening in general, as well as reviewing one. Well, as a broad term, they serve as an introduction and a teaser to what the show's themes and basic synopsis is. For Fate Zero, that basic synopsis being it's about powerful mages summoning legendary epic heroes as servants to fight in an epic event known as the Holy Grail War. And this opening, while it doesn't exactly foreshow what the purpose of the war is, being the Holy Grail itself, because it's nowhere to be seen in this entire opening, it does do a very good job at illustrating that is about a battle royale-esque setting, with every frame after the initial build-up part of the opening being the various servants engaging in battle for the Grail. The music is also beautifully composed, and while I can't show it to you, stupid YouTube copyright, I do highly encourage you all to seek it out. It's a song called Oath Sign, composed by Yuki Kadra and performed by an artist known as Lisa. The animation is also by far the best part of this opening, as is each frame beautifully crafted and every design is properly rendered into the background with no dip in detail or quality, with every character having fluent motion without any kind of drop in frame or quality whatsoever. That is actually quite impressive, even if it's just an opening. Overall, this opening is one of the best I've seen in a long time in anime. It's magnificently animated, wonderfully composed, and gives the audience a great feel about what the show is about, rather than just sitting there bored wondering what that skip button is. And with all that said, that was my review of the Fate Zero opening for Who Reviews the Reviewer Season 4. Try and say that 10 times as fast. And with all that said, ladies and gentlemen and others, I will see you some other time, some review. Take care. What do I think is the most essential element for a good review? Basically, for the reviewer to emote their opinion onto the audience, which sounds easier than it is. If I watched a video, and by the time the timestamp hits 0, or by the time, you know, it hits the end of the timeline, or the end of the video, or what have you, and I feel like I've at least understood and seen and basically understand this person's opinion that they're trying to give out, then I think it's a good review. Obviously, I'm probably not doing a good job explaining this because I'm off script, which is also a good thing you should have for a review. Be on script, because then you have a better chance of professionally emoting to your audience. But yeah, I think that's what makes a good review, is by the end of it helping your audience understand where you're coming from. Well, I don't want to be bragging, but nah, I don't know if I've got a shot. I'm just jumping in with 2 feet and see where this takes me. I'm just taking this as a learning experience, and hopefully, if I win, awesome. Love to do that. I'll be over the moon. But if I don't, either way, I still feel like we all win, because it's a learning experience. We will at least have taken something from, you know, this whole endeavor. What would I do with the prize money? To put it simple, a better camera, because this is off my webcam, and yeah, it's not looks the greatest. It serves me well, but I'd rather get something better. Also a better mic, because I'm sounding fine as you come up, as I come off here, but this mic is failing me because, fun fact for you, the first take I did this, I actually sent off to Captain Logan. And I realised on second playback when it was actually rendered into YouTube, they changed the audio bit, so the mic actually was off, but I couldn't tell. Yeah, that's how crappy this mic is at times. It only works with me on select chances, so I'd want to get a mic more reliable. More posters. I'd like to make a full set, so you don't have to see all this, you know, outdoor or indoor stuff of my house. I'd like to have a full set of anime posters, because I have like a whole wall space up there. And obviously more anime, because I'd like to support these licensing companies, and I'd like to buy anime and then review anime. That's what I'd like to do. And finally, what's my idea for the Geekvolution mini-series, if I was to choose it? I haven't fully thought out, but maybe to showcase more anime, maybe to study or analyse what impact has anime had on here in the West. Because anime is not a topic that gets talked about in Geekvolution. I think that's mostly because the good folks here at Geekvolution aren't always knowledgeable anime. I think they've watched a few. I think Vince has watched Cowboy Bebop last time I checked. So stuff like that. Maybe. Oh hey, maybe do something on the DC animated universe, because that's always fun. And it's animation too. But yeah, that's basically me in a nutshell. Sorry to waste a bit of your time, but I'm going to let my other contestants, my fellow contestants, introduce themselves. So until then, I bid you all a farewell.
Hello, we are Travis and Kaiti. I'm Travis. Kaiti can't be here for the introductions, but she'll be here for all the reviews. She sent me her answers, which I haven't read yet, but yeah, we're excited to be here. Thanks for having us. We are college students out here in Southern California. I like to watch TV and read comic books, but I mean I also do super I do super cool, impressive things too. Like yeah, so it's something we've always wanted to do. We're very excited. Seems very creatively rewarding. It seems very fun. It's mainly the reason we did it. We just to be part of this community too. We're looking forward to it.
Hello, so Travis and I are reviewing the chocolate churros from El Pollo Loco.
A funny story about churros, just in general as a food. Okay. I once worked at an amusement park, and I had a job called the churro cart, in which I went to a very secluded part of the park and sold churros from a cart.
Do you ever sell any?
No. I just tell this because it means I'm very qualified to review churros. I'm more qualified to review churros than Caitlin, that's for sure.
How can you be more qualified to review churros?
If anyone is qualified to review a churro, well, there would be real food critics, and then I'd be right after that. Let's try it.
Okay. It's cold. I like it. Except I don't like when it's cold. We have had this before when it's hot, so this is us having it cold. We just didn't film it.
I mean, is it that much better than like a regular churro?
Yeah,
like
chocolate.
Like, why is this a thing that you just like, oh, people like churros, people like chocolate. Let's just like put chocolate in churros and see and like make it better. Like
chocolate makes everything better except peanut butter.
But like, I mean, do you see like Hollywood just being like, people like movies, people like Kevin Hart. Let's just put Kevin Hart in all the movies.
What they do.
Oh yeah.
So overall, do you have any pros or cons? What do you think of your chocolate churro?
Yeah, it's alright.
Overall, I thought the churro was really good. It had chocolate fudge in the middle, it had chocolate powder over it, and it was a chocolate churro, like the actual bread. The cons I have for it is that it doesn't taste good cold, and you need milk with it.
I think there are 3 very important elements to good review. Oxygen, sarcasm, and if there's one thing I've learned from watching YouTube reviews, the most important thing is to have sort of like a bright, animated intro, maybe with like some chimes in the background. That seems pretty important. Why do you have a shot? Why do you think you have a shot at winning? Let's see what Kaiti has to say for this one. She says, and I quote, "I think Travis and I bring something different to the table this season." That is a terrible answer. No, I think we're gonna win because me and Kaiti just we bring something different to the table this season. So we have a camera, we have a mic. I would like to get some lights maybe, or get some really cool things to review, really cool things to bring you. Yeah. Do you have an idea in mind for your Geekvolution miniseries were you to win the contest? Yeah, we've got a lot of ideas to things to talk about, things to review, things to debate. Yeah, from TV to old 90s Disney shows to let's see what Kaiti wrote down. Again, we've got a lot of ideas. Kaiti wrote, "LOL no." Yeah. I mean, thanks again for having us. We're really excited. We really, yeah, we're really glad to be here and to be part of this. Thanks for having us. Yeah. Bye.
I'm the Comics Kid 2099. How you doing? I like to read comics. I like to read novels. I like to write my own comics sometimes. I also, for a living, I move furniture 5 days a week. I wanted to bring more attention to my channel, but I also wanted to get to know other YouTubers who I probably wouldn't have gotten to have known if I didn't participate in the contest. I've been keeping up with Who Reviews the Reviewers since the first season, and from a distance I could always see there was this sense of camaraderie among the contestants. Even when they're competing against each other, a lot of them remain friends afterwards and they continue to collaborate on stuff, and that's very exciting to me. That's a very interesting prospect of this, and I hope that I can participate in that and take advantage of it to its fullest. The 1981 cult classic film Escape from New York is about a convicted felon conscripted to go into a dangerous prison to rescue the President of the United States in only 24 hours. Along the way, he meets allies, enemies, and various scoundrels who fall somewhere in between. I've made no secret that this is one of my favorite movies. It's got everything you could want in a movie, from the quotable lines, "But I heard you were dead," to the unforgettable setting of Manhattan Island as one gigantic prison. Heck, the movie's pretty important from a pop culture perspective as well. There's even talk of a trilogy remaking this movie in the next few years. But what about the characters? Are they fleshed out and interesting enough to carry this movie and classify it as a good movie and not just enjoyable schlock? Well, Snake Plissken, our protagonist, is the most fleshed out character in the movie, and we don't know much about him, just that he flew a plane over Leningrad in the Special Forces and that everyone thought that he was dead. But despite how little we know about him, he still comes alive for for me every time I watch this movie. I come to care about his mission partly because of the atmosphere that this movie has. Everything and everyone is dirty, and that makes the convicted felon who only cares about himself seem like a good guy. So when he pulls his stunt against the president at the end of the film, I can't help but cheer. And even though we still know no more about him than we did at the beginning of the movie, I do feel like he's come on a kind of journey throughout the movie, enough for me to say that he's had his very own character arc, making this movie more worthwhile and placing it a few levels above guilty pleasure schlock. And if a movie is enjoyable and has characters who feel alive and real despite their little characterization, that really is all you can ask for in a movie. Or at least that's all I can ask for. But what about you guys? Do you like this movie? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.
Hey, it's me, Snake Plissken. So, apparently, there's this rumor that I'm dead. I just wanted to put this out there and clear the air. I'm not dead. So anyway, I wanted to say thanks to John Carpenter for making my mom cry and starting that rumor. Thanks, jerk.
I would say, just in regards to the review itself, I would say the conclusion is the most important, because you can start off a video with a bang, you can get everyone's attention, but then if you start to lose focus, if you start to go downhill from there, and if you end in a fizzle, nobody's going to care what you have to say. In fact, they're probably not even going to remember what you have to say, depending on how bad the conclusion of your review is. So for me, I would say the conclusion is the most important part, although all the parts, the beginning, middle, and end, are each important in their own way. Well, I've been making videos for a little over 2 years, and I like to think that that time has been good practice for me. I've learned a lot of what you should do in videos and what you should not do. It's been really good practice, and I think that could be very handy and very helpful for me in this competition. What would you do with the prize money? Probably I would spend some of it on buying a video editing software that is compatible with my computer. That would be something that would be really hugely helpful for me, would be getting an upgrade on my software. Do you have an idea what your Geekvolution miniseries would be if you won? This one took a lot of thought, but I'm thinking it would probably be King Arthur stuff. I am a big King Arthur fan, and this is something I definitely think it could sustain a miniseries, whereas other things that I like I just don't think could sustain a miniseries, and it's something that I feel like I'm pretty knowledgeable about, so it's something that I could probably talk about for a while. I don't know if the co-people on the miniseries could, but that's something that I feel like I would be able to bring to the table. And those are my questions, so hope to see you guys very soon, and I look forward to seeing everyone else's videos. Take care.
Hey, you can call me Sooty, or Frobertson if you like, I don't really mind. I'm in my final year of school at the moment, as well as being a semi-professional footballer. It's not really as extravagant as it sounds. I also play a lot of video games and watch a lot of films. I auditioned for Who Reviews the Reviewers because I literally wanted my reviews to be reviewed. I believe that my reviewing skills will improve drastically if my work is being critiqued by well-established reviewers. I also saw this competition as a chance to build a larger audience. Released in 1978, Space Invaders kick-started the golden age of arcade video games and has since become one of the most well-known video games of all time. But just what about this game inspired so many people to have a go? Let's take a quick look. Straight away, Space Invaders has both uncomplicated syntax and semantics going for it. The goal is simple, to kill all the aliens which are moving gradually closer to you. The means to do this is also simple, move the joystick left and right while shooting the aliens with a button. This simplicity automatically makes the game more appealing to new players as they do not feel intimidated by a myriad of buttons and levers, especially during a time where video games were a lot less prominent in society than they are now. Competent players are also given extra things to do, as they can shoot the mothership that scrolls across the screen for a random amount of points. I think it would make the game slightly more interesting if the aliens which gave the player more points required more missiles to kill them. This would force the player to think about their tactics a bit more. The game is naturally addicting. One can continuously play the game trying to beat both their own high score and the high score of others. As a player experiences the game more and more, they will begin to notice that the earlier waves of aliens become easier and easier the more they face them, similar to that of the original Sonic the Hedgehog games, as a player will face Green Hill Zone every time they get a game over. The gameplay used in Space Invaders has been used by FPS games ever since their inception. This is a testament to how successful and innovative Space Invaders is, and was, given that 37 years later, game developers are still drawing heavy inspiration from it. As a side note, it would be really cool to see a text screen providing a story for Space Invaders. It would homage Star Wars, which, given the time period, this game clearly took inspiration from. I would be amiss not to mention the soundtrack. The music reeks of escalation, always feeling like it is building up to the aliens inevitably succeeding in their quest to invade. Each time the aliens get closer, the music's tempo increases. I also love how the aliens move in time to the music. The soundtrack gets the player really on edge, especially when they are close to a game over. All things considered, Space Invaders is an immensely entertaining game to play, and one I am keen to revisit regularly. I have very few complaints about the game, even when I nitpick. And thanks to this, Space Invaders thoroughly deserves its iconic bookmark in history. For me, the most essential part of a review is the substance. I watch a lot of reviews on YouTube that have a lot of fancy graphics, music, and editing, but in the end that means nothing if there's no meat to what they're saying. I would rather watch a video of a blank screen with lots of good points being made, opposed to a video with much higher production quality with nothing insightful being said whatsoever. I think I might have a shot at winning Season 4 of Who Reviews the Reviewers because I really try to put the topic of discussion at the centre of the video, and try immensely hard to keep personal bias out of all my reviews. Even if something is not to my taste, I do not callously form a negative opinion on its quality. It may achieve what it sets out to do, and I'm just not the target audience. With the prize money, I would probably upgrade my equipment and put the rest away for a rainy day. You never know when you might need it. If I won the competition, I would most likely make a Sonic the Hedgehog miniseries. I feel that topic would fit well on the Geekvolution channel, and I would either look over the 2D games or review all the 3D games, which would be really fun as they are a roller coaster in quality.
Hi there, I'm Matt. You can call me ThatMattKid. That is my alias on the YouTubes, but Matt also works. I study at Bowling Green State University up in Ohio. I study telecommunication and video production, so I actually do this kind of thing. I'm hoping to do this kind of thing for a living, which is why the lighting and audio quality is just gonna bother the crap out of me. Hobbies, obviously I play video games. That's a big thing. I love gaming. I'm wearing a video game hoodie. Video games are just something I love. But I also love comics, which is why I first started watching Geekvolution. You know, I collect a lot of Batman, a lot of DC and Vertigo, not a ton of Marvel. I like Spider-Man and X-Men, but I've never been like that into Marvel, but you know, they have some good stuff. Also, I'm a musician. I say that with an asterisk because I'm a drummer, which is a musician, but yeah, I play drums. And I sing a little bit, but not good. So why did I audition for Who Reviews the Reviewers? Well, besides loving Geekvolution and just, you know, wanting a chance to participate in something fun and cool on their channel, I think it's cool because, you know, I'm inspired a lot by like Kid Icarus, John Tron, people who do these kind of fun, entertaining video game videos, except I kind of want to do it with a little bit more analysis thrown in. And Who Reviews the Reviewers is such a cool opportunity to get feedback right away on like what I might be doing wrong, what I could do better, or what I'm doing good that I should still do, as opposed to, you know, putting out several videos and then over the course of months or however long it might be to actually get, you know, good feedback while I'm trying to build an audience. This way I can get useful feedback right away, and so I can be really strong out the gate when I'm, you know, really starting to get my videos pumping out there.
Developed by Konami and released in 1999 for the PlayStation 1, Silent Hill is a third-person survival horror game and is one of the defining entries in the psychological horror subgenre. Does this game from the 5th generation of consoles still hold up today and deliver the scares? In a word, yes. In a sentence, good lord, I just soiled my pants due to sheer terror. This game puts players in control of Harry Mason as he makes his way through an abandoned town looking for his daughter. Right away you'll notice one of the best things about this game, its atmosphere. Like the City of Rapture from BioShock, or Arkham Asylum from, well, Arkham Asylum, the town of Silent Hill feels like its own entity. Even with the admittedly dated graphics, this game packs a lot of punch in its visuals. Creature designs are especially disturbing and still hold up well. The game's sound design is also superb, knowing when to ramp up the music and when to let Harry explore in total silence, broken only by his footsteps and the static of his radio. The presentation isn't perfect though. The cutscenes sometimes have weird pauses in between dialogue, and the voice acting, while a step up from earlier PS1 games, is still a little rough. Gameplay is tense. You'll explore different parts of the town, such as a school and a hospital, only to be greeted by a more evil and disturbing version of it as you progress. Progression, however, means fighting monsters, solving puzzles, and exploring. Fighting generally works well, although melee combat feels a little unresponsive and the movement controls are a bit clunky. They can definitely be an adjustment for first-time players. The puzzles range in difficulty from fairly easy to pretty darn hard. After clearing an area of monsters, sometimes you'll end up wandering around trying to figure out what to do next. These moments can take you out of the game. It's a little hard to be scared when you're running through the same empty hallway for the 5th or 6th time. Silent Hill is a beautifully dark and frightening game, and I can't recommend it enough to anyone interested in survival horror. Does it show its age a bit at times? Definitely, but it's still hair-raising, spine-tingling, bone-chilling goodness from start to finish.
Oh, what do I think is the most essential element to a good review? It's a good question. It's a $1 million question. I think it's organization, personally. Being the ripe young age of 21, I still remember high school pretty well, taking AP English and language courses and having to write timed essays, and kind of remembering that formula of like background, thesis statement, topic sentences with support, and just kind of basing my review structure off that. So when I'm looking at a game, I'll give a little background, analyze the presentation, analyze the gameplay, and really go through each kind of segment by segment and giving each one its due attention, pulling from the material to illustrate a point, as opposed to doing like just kind of an overview. You only want to use the material when you need examples to support your points. Do I think I have a shot at winning? Yeah, I think so. I think everyone who made it in has a shot, but why do I think I have a shot? Well, because I'm passionate about what I do. I like to think I'm somewhat entertaining. I'm still kind of working on that. But also, and this is kind of an unfair advantage, studying video production at school, I can just go and check out a pretty large amount of equipment, and I have free access to editing stuff. So I do kind of have a bit of an advantage there. Not that equipment makes a better video per se, but it can make it look more professional, and it can give you a little bit more confidence because you know you are making a product that looks really professional. The only reason I don't have equipment for this video is because the school's actually closed down because it's snowing like crazy right now. What would I do with the prize money? I would invest some of it in expanding my library of stuff to review, and some of it would be saved up for after I graduate to invest in my own equipment. Do I have an idea in mind for my mini-series? 2, actually. One would be reviewing a series of like bad superhero games, maybe like some movie license game or the previous Batman games. Or since Geekvolution does a lot of narrative analysis, I thought it would be cool to kind of do a series on games that I think have something to say in their narrative, and games that I think make a great case for video games being a storytelling medium. So I think that could be fun also. Thanks for listening. I'm super excited to be a part of this, and yeah, looking forward to the challenges. It's gonna be fun. See ya.
Contestants, you are in for a wild ride. I'm not going to lie and tell you that the contest is easy. Sometimes you will like the hand you are dealt, and sometimes you won't. Sometimes you will have a great idea that takes longer than the amount of time that we've given you to do it. It's all about resourcefulness, it's all about patience, it's all about prioritization. The contest is designed, and the reason that we do it as a competitive reality series, to create this competition that makes everybody better. So as your fellow reviewers are working their butts off and making the greatest things they possibly can, you've got to work that much harder in order to attempt to eclipse them. I am very privileged to continue to do this contest and to see what it has done for folks in the past. We've had a lot of contestants make a lot of friendships out of this contest. We've had a lot of contestants build great followings out of it, and many of them continue today, and I have a tendency to bring aboard folks from this contest to be regulars on Geekvolution. In fact, a lot of, if not actually the majority of the people that we tend to work with are folks that I found through this contest, Dan Torrey being a prime example. Folks that are just watching and not competing this year, I think you're going to really enjoy what we have in store. The first week, we're going to get to see our contestants reviewing something that has never been reviewed in the history of Who Reviews the Reviewers. We have asked our contestants to review a website, so look forward to that. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Captain Logan. Happy reviewing, happy watching, and good luck to all the contestants this season.